Good morning and welcome to the Morning Brew where we start our day inspired. Today I want to start here with this quote or phrase or reminder that says, "You might not be where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be." And before we move on too quickly, I want you to actually sit with that. You might not be where you want to be yet, but you're not where you used to be. Because I don't think we do that enough. We're so focused on what's next that we rarely pause to acknowledge what already has happened. Most of us live our lives looking forward at the next goal, at the next level, at the next version of ourselves. We measure our progress by how far we still have to go. And that gap between where you are and where you want to be can be really big, big enough to make you question, am I doing enough? Why is this taking so long? Or what am I missing? And if you stay in that space too long, it starts to feel like you're stuck, like nothing is really changing. But there is another gap, the one behind us. And we don't look at that one nearly enough because it's not urgent, it doesn't push you, it doesn't demand anything of you. It just quietly holds evidence of who you used to be, what used to feel hard, what you've already moved through. So let's do something different for a moment. Think back, not just to last week, but maybe a year ago. How did you handle stress then? What did you tolerate? What did you avoid? What felt overwhelming that maybe feels different now? Because here's the thing, growth doesn't always look like I made it. Sometimes it looks like you recover faster, you catch your patterns sooner, you speak up a little more, you don't abandon yourself as quickly. And those shifts, they all matter. Here's the part that doesn't get enough credit. Most of your growth happens in moments no one else sees. The moments that you choose not to react the same way, or stay when things feel uncomfortable, or left something that wasn't right for you, or show up when you didn't feel ready. Those aren't big visible milestones. They don't come with applause. They don't get posted on social media. They don't always feel like progress in the moment, but they are. They actually, I think, are foundational. I think part of the reason this feels so hard is because you've been taught to measure progress by outcomes, results, achievements, milestones. But a lot of the real change happens before any of that shows up. It happens in your thinking, in your choices, in your awareness. So you're changing, but you're not giving yourself credit for it because it doesn't look the way you expect. There are going to be seasons where it feels like nothing is happening, where you're putting in effort and you're not seeing the result yet. And that's usually the moment where people quit, not because they're not capable, but because they don't see evidence fast enough. So they assume that it's not working. So, what if it is? What if the work is happening internally first? What if you're building something that hasn't fully show up yet? So instead of asking, am I there yet? Try asking, am I showing up differently than I used to? Am I a little bit more aware, a little more honest with myself, a little more consistent, a little more willing to try again? Because that's what progress actually looks like. It can be subtle, but it's layered and it's real. Let's do something we don't do enough. I want you to acknowledge one thing, just one, something you've done in the past few months that required effort. Maybe no one else noticed it, but you know. It could be a boundary that you set, or a habit that you started, or a conversation that you had, or a situation that you handled differently. You don't need to rush your growth. You don't need to prove anything by getting there faster. You just need to keep moving. Because every small step, every hard decision, every time that you didn't quit, you were building something, even if you couldn't see it clearly yet. So, yes, you might not be where you want to be, but you are not who you used to be, and that matters. So, be proud of yourself, not in a loud, performative way, but in a quiet, grounded way. The kind that says, I see my effort, I see my growth, and I'm not starting from zero. Now, let's finish our coffee and let's keep going. I hope you have a great week, and I can't wait to see you again next week here on the Morning Brew.